inspection. And one of the problems was the rear sway bar. There was like not a whole lot left to it. So unfortunately we had to get it fixed for safety being on the road. So it has actually been repaired, but we did want to try to keep you guys in contact with it. The other thing, we still have the striping that has to be put on it because it's not up to code per the new inspector. And then we're also working on the lights, which we're going to do that in-house. So we're just trying to figure out how we want to do that. So, but I'm trying to get the quote for the striping. I have not done that yet, or haven't got it back yet.
Is this the chassis that's going to be
This
remolded?
is the 2005 ambulance.
This fire station, this service quote is for the 2005?
Correct. So that's the one that's currently in service. So we needed to get it fixed because that's our only running, you know.
So when they use it,
Just a bummer.
Yeah.
So what are you asking for?
I don't think it matters.
It was, for the most part, it was just to kind of keep you guys informed. Like I said, we had to get it fixed.
the reason it ended up on our agenda is because it exceeds the $2,500 they can
Correct.
do without coming through finance.
But you repaired 3985 to the tune of 7115, and that didn't come through here.
The what?
3985
What was
did
that
a
for?
bunch of work at G&L brakes and exhaust, and it came to $7,000. That didn't come through here. That's why I'm just wondering.
Okay, some of that
Did
would be
something
routine
change, or-
maintenance, wouldn't it?
Was
What's
that
that?
tires?
Brakes and stuff like that is routine maintenance, I would think.
It's a big expenditure. I was just wondering if there's a threshold or why we're being reported on. That's what I'm asking.
I was letting you know because I had the inspector call, or I was down there for the inspection, and he's the one that made it known to me, so I had it checked out, and that's, I got the quote. I just wanted to get it to you guys so we could get it done, but we had to get it done prior to, otherwise he could have taken it out of service for it, and we can't be down another ambulance, so.
Understood.
Is this 2005 one going to be the spare one?
Correct. That's gonna be the backup one.
So then we'll have 3 ambulances?
Correct.
Okay.
I think this is more informational than takes action.
Well, it's just going to have to come out of their maintenance
Comes
budgets
out of
and
their
all of that.
maintenance budget,
Yeah.
correct.
Which
Well,
probably
what's-
wasn't planned like J&L's tires and stuff.
Well, what's happening with the ladder truck?
I haven't got a quote yet. As soon as I get you guys a quote, I have to get it over there to find out what exactly it will entail for cost. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too much. Hopefully it's just getting the bolts tightened up and making sure that everything gets tested out properly. It's just the problem is right now, if we use it, because it's in dire need, if it does break, then it could be even pricier to fix, so. So the ladder, I'm hoping I can try to get a quote by tomorrow, or get somebody to look at it by tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be Monday, and then I can hopefully get a quote by early next week.
Well, we won't meet again until
Like, I'm
January.
hoping it won't be over $1,000. It should be just,
Oh, okay, because
I'm
where you
hoping-
originally,
I'm hoping like, only like $1,000. It's just trying to get in there, get it, because we gotta tear a couple things apart in order to get to it.
when you originally explained it to me, I thought it was gonna be much more. Or you were thinking it was gonna be much more.
Like I
You
said,
don't know yet?
No.
Okay.
I don't
and they
know.
couldn't even tell me exactly what it might cost, so.
Okay,
When did we have a discussion with the ladder truck? Why am I not, that's not ringing a bell to me.
Me either.
when you were telling me about the ambulance, they told me about the ladder truck. But they hadn't had it inspected, they've got no estimates, so there's nothing to bring before the committee. But apparently, it needs some repairs also.
Because it also had the aerial inspection that it needed to be done.
So we may see more info on that, because this is the first I heard of it, so I didn't know.
Well, see
if I-
more info on it, yes.
Yeah. I was just trying to keep you guys aware of what.
No, I appreciate it, just I didn't know that, I knew about everything else, and go, what the hell are we talking about the ladder truck? It was just news, now we all know,
Correct.
thank you.
One question, the loaner ambulance,
Yes,
that is gonna be, I took that off the insurance as of the 31st,
correct.
correct?
And
That's,
that one, I'm really hoping we'll be done by then.
Wasn't something supposed to get picked up yesterday? Cause
Yes.
we did the check Monday,
It's,
cause,
I have to
Over, like,
let the
those
insurance
getting
people
stuff
know,
done
and
to
it
it.
doesn't, so.
yes,
I'd
we
have to
should
go
have it
back
by,
on.
I'm hoping we should have it by the 27th. That is kind of the
Okay,
goal
all
right
right,
now.
I just wanna
so-
make sure that we have that handled, okay.
others, could we do like a day-to-day kind of thing, or extend it a week or something,
Yeah,
if we
that-
needed to?
Before we can actually use that one, that has to be inspected
Sure,
as well.
I have a feeling you're not gonna get that done at this time of year.
Well, we're planning on the 30th. We're
Good luck
working on
with
it.
that.
Okay.
Well, just to let her know, just to make sure that if.
I will keep you posted on it.
Paul, since you're here, that loaner ambulance that we put on the policy, I took it off as of the 31st, if there's a need to put it really back on temporarily, is that something I just give you a call, or
No,
no?
I mean, you can let Carly know, but basically, the way our auto coverage works is we cover all your autos. So all your activity throughout the year, you're covered.
But I should
Even
let
though
you
it's not
know,
listed.
oh, even though it's
Is it going on
not,
there just temporarily?
yeah.
Yeah, let her know.
I
I'm not
usually,
gonna
I
do
did the
anything
last
with it.
time, so I just wanna make sure.
It's not
Okay,
gonna
let
change
me
your
know.
premium, no.
Okay, all right, just let me know then, I feel better if I at least
Yeah.
communicate that to them,
Yeah.
so,
That's always a good thing.
yeah.
Insurance, you're up.
All right. Well, you know, when I start talking about insurance, I do like, reminding you of the different coverages that we work on. You know, so we have the three main lines, it's your liability, which includes your auto and your auto liability, and then your property, and then your workers' compensation. Cyber obviously has become a little bit of a hot topic, so maybe that's a fourth, but that's cyber liability, so I kind of lump that all into one thing. So those liability coverages, which would include your general, your police professional, public officials, your auto, your cyber, including auto physical damage. And then there's like the three pillars of insurance also, when we talk about pricing, coverage, and services. So right now I'm just gonna talk about pricing, because that's, I mean, they do keep increasing services, there's more services that we talked a lot about, and coverages have only been getting better. But so that first section of premium is down $430, you know, so it's nice to always have somewhat of a decrease, or at least just stay within inflation. And, you know, in the marketplace, we're not seeing that. So it's down $430 for a few different reasons, but overall, a decrease. The property, the second one I'm gonna talk about, that is up $3,664, or 6.7%. Few reasons for that is, one, for the main part, you're building your personal property or property in the open. That's only up 5%, 3% rate, 2% inflation. But we did do some work on the contractor's equipment they were talking about, so that went up from $694,000, it went up $281,000. So you got about a $700 increase there, but that's all exposure, that's all just adding stuff. So Lana and her team did a nice job with updating all that, taking stuff off that should have been off, adding things that needed to be on there. So that's the main reason for it, is inflation, and then adding some equipment. And I don't know if it was new ads or if it was just stuff that needed to get on there, but it was up that amount, so that's why you have that $3,664 increase. But then the really, really good news is for workers' compensation. We did have a claim fall off. Remember, workers' compensation is all state set. It's your payrolls times your state set rates, and then after that's all said and done, you got your mod, and that goes up or down based on claims for 3 years. So we had a year drop off, then we had claims, and your mod went down from, we have the exact numbers here, so this is your multiplier, and it went down from 0.93 to 0.85, so 8% reduction there. So you got a $19,000 decrease, which is really fun to talk about. So overall, with the liability and the property going up a little bit, liability going down a little bit, workers' compensation going down a lot, managing claims well, we're down $15,894. So that's the pricing, and Merry Christmas.
Even with a lawnmower
Right.
in a pond.
Hmm?
Even with a lawnmower in a pond.
You know what?
Lawnmower in a pond.
Oh,
You heard that, right? It went into,
a push mower or like a riding?
Insurance.
it was, I think it's the big mower and it was, went off a,
Slid.
Well,
went into,
I didn't
Nope, nobody was.
No, it isn't.
Nobody
Nobody
was.
was hurt.
No.
full of
It's,
He's,
we've had a few of those.
yeah.
With the new vehicles, I just wanna remind you, with the new vehicles that you get on, you do get replacement cost coverage. So if the thing was total and the value's over $100,000, you get a brand new one. And if it's under $100,000, you have over 5 years, you get a brand new one. So, you have about 13 vehicles now that have replacement cost coverage. Your last two that you had were over 100,000, so you're gonna have that replacement cost for 10 years. So that's the pricing.
good news.
Yeah, and the coverages are just as good, and you know, I gotta ask you this, I hate coming in with a question, but with the crime coverage, where the league now is providing crime, I don't know if you guys went through that or not, but it's kind of a no-brainer. We were using Hanover, but now the league is offering crime coverage.
Well, we had to make steps to change that to be able to fall under the cyber coverage through the league, so that saved us a great
Yeah,
deal.
that was the cyber, I'm just talking the crime.
Oh, just the crime,
Just the
okay.
crime, yeah, so employee dishonesty and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I see, okay.
So the league is the same price as Hanover, but it's all at the league. It's nice to have the coverage in one place.
Yeah,
Hanover's a great carrier, but I don't have as much control over them as I do the league. We're recommending you take your coverages from $50,000 to $100,000 across the board. And that would take the premium from $534 to $555 to $21, and doubles your coverage. So that's our recommendation. I left Hanover on here for now, but I would recommend switching to the league and getting $100,000 versus $50,000 of coverage for an extra $21 for the year.
I would agree with that.
So I think that's probably, I mean, it's nice when you only have to answer questions like that or deal with something small like that, so. I don't know if you wanna talk about that, or if that's something that we just wanna resolve now, or Lana and I can do it later, but that's,
I guess I got a question between option 2 and 3.
yeah.
What do you see under computer fraud or wire fraud, wire funds transfer? Is the typical claim under 100,000?
You know, I haven't seen anything more than 70,000, but, within the municipalities, but I've seen $1 million claims for wire transfer fraud, where you get tricked into transferring money. Yeah, that happened in some school districts. Where the bad guys called or contacted them, tricked the comptroller into saying, hey, you know what, we're changing banks. So send the money to this bank, you know, the contractor, the fake contractor saying that, and they give them the routing number, the account number, and the next draw goes to the bad guys, because there's, you know, some internal controls have just flown out the way. And, yeah, there's been some, around Wisconsin, been some pretty significant losses. Which, by the way, we do also offer $1 million coverage.
That's what I was referring to as option 3.
That's $777, so it's an additional $222. So, yeah, it can happen. You know, ours is always the third line of defense. You know, your relationship with your bank, those controls, your internal controls, and then if all else fails, you got insurance.
And right now, are we at 50,000?
Yeah.
I definitely think we should go to option.
Oh, that's a
2.
no-brainer, yeah. I don't think we need to go to $1 million.
Your thoughts on this, Barry, with the utility?
Well, the utilities in the future is gonna probably go away from having checks altogether. That's our goal. which means that everything that goes out, you see our bills are gonna be anywhere from $700,000 to $1 million a month. So that is our goal. We just started working with the city to kind of see, setting our ACH payments up here, so we're not doing a check there, but we've seen in the market that checks right now are, they're getting a hold of checks and washing them, and it's a big thing, so a lot of companies are getting that, so we're kind of gonna steer away from that. So that's our goal.
It's easy to duplicate a check right now. You just gotta get that routing number and account number, and
Yeah.
we've seen it.
And I know there's a lot of businesses that are seeing that now, and one way is to make the ACH payments, to get away from that, having physical checks. So, just to keep in mind that that's the kind of money that we're dealing with.
I guess what I'm looking at is the limits. Are you comfortable with a 100,000 limit?
With what?
100,000
The
going up to
utilities is
50.
completely covered under us, it's the same thing?
Right.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had something different.
No, they're with the league,
Okay.
right along with us.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, you see what we go through a month.
Yeah,
We're buying transformers for $50,000 a piece. That eventually is all gonna be ACH payments, so. I guess you're asking if we're gonna make a check for more than 100,000?
are you comfortable with having the coverage at 100,000?
Because right now you're at 50, we have a quote for 100,000, and then we have a quote for $1 million. And the quotes are $533, $555, and $777.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I would go for the higher one.
Can
The
this
million.
be, this is all or nothing, it's not like the utilities can have a higher threshold than the city?
No, I mean, we look at you as one.
And that's fine,
one
just asking the
million.
question, that's why for some reason I was thinking you were separate, I don't know why.
The other thing is, I guess I wasn't prepared for this conversation of when we start changing that stuff over. So, does it matter when we change it? I mean, for the $200 a year, I guess you'd be covered at $1 million now, and we can review that to see how this year went, how our checks are going, how our ACH payments are going and stuff.
Because you're intending to do it starting in 2025,
We've already started it with the city,
okay.
to see how it works and how, payments go, but I'm just letting you know that that is the future for the utility.
I'm fine either way with it. Personally, we will never get away with the check part, but we have positive pay, so I would be comfortable with 100, but again, it's only a couple $100, so, it's your decision with it, but we have cross-checks here too, so we'll never get into just ACH stuff, but.
Is there disadvantages to taking the higher $1 million coverage for a year, knowing that we're changing practices, and then knock it back the next year?
The only difference is the $222, that's the only disadvantage.
To
Then
me,
you
then
would do it.
I would up it and review our practices to make sure we never come into a liability,
Yep.
or if we do, it's.
That's why I asked Barry, because I knew we were doing
No,
these
I
things. and-
I don't have a problem with the extra
We
coverage.
prorate all of this
And we've had
stuff
problems
by
with
departments.
checks being
Yeah,
washed out
yeah,
there.
it's all
Happens
allocated,
Yeah.
so,
in mysterious ways.
yep.
So I guess my recommendation would be to go to option 3.
Sounds good.
If that's a motion, I will second that.
Who's
Motion from Thomas, second by Cool to take option 3 for the crime coverage with $1 million limit. The deductible is 1,000 on that.
Check it out, yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what the church
that's correct.
All those in favor signify
Can I
by
interrupt
saying
one
aye.
second?
says. Yes.
We
Yeah.
also have to say, if you wanna move it from the Hanover to the league, because your carrier right now is Hanover.
Yes.
Right, but option 3 would be with the league.
I think
It says
Hanover
with
matched
league.
that too with their option.
I didn't see
They also
one
have
from
their-
Hanover, though.
Yeah.
With the league.
With
Yeah, it
the
says
league.
with the league.
Okay,
With the league.
Okay.
The only thing I have here is the one from Hanover and 2 from the league, so.
Okay.
And Hanover was matching that, but yeah, prefer to stay with the league.
Okay. Thank you.
You agree with that?
Yes.
That's part of your motion.
Yes.
Motion from Thomas, second by Cool to take the crime coverage with the league using option 3. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Do we have more discussion on this?
More discussion on anything you want.
Excellent news. We've put a lot of energy and work into the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah.
I would like Barry to have a complete understanding that everything we've done is covered, and so is it possible to have you or staff meet with the utility to confirm and so that he has a full understanding that everything was
For
covered?
sure, yeah.
I think that would give him a little comfort level.
Yeah, we just look through the architecture or the AIA contracts or whatever, and make sure that things are matching up and what
I
we're
think
putting on.
Barry was asking.
Putting on
I
the
think
ledger.
Barry would like to have a meeting and have a discussion on it so that he has a better understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even mind coming and seeing the fun project, so. yeah.
Well, we're all anxious to see that, it's a big project.
Yeah, we are.
So if you could work through Lana or directly with Barry, to get that scheduled, I'd appreciate it.
What is the date that we're thinking it's gonna be fully complete?
Pretty much any time in January.
In January? Okay.
It won't be complete, but
Correct.
And then we gotta remember to take off the builder's risk coverage,
Yes.
which is an additional coverage for construction in progress.
Anything else you have?
No, sir, that's all I had.
Any other questions on the insurance? I think it's great that we saw a decrease in premiums.
Yay.
Yeah, it is a yay.
I'll take every win.
Every penny.
Take them all, big or small.
Yeah.
But that was largely due to workman's comp, correct?
A little bit on liability, but yeah, workers' comp, one of the day, they're,
That means we're being safe. I like it.
it's a lot of hidden costs when you have work comp claims too, so.
So what is our cost then? Because we're gonna make a recommendation to council.
For the entire,
The entire premium?
is it,
We'll take off the 534 and have the 777.
because the back page was complete, right? Not just crime
The summary that we got
in the
was.
back? Yeah,
That should just, that page is just crime.
but it's got red in lettering. So where's the total price? That's what he's asking for?
165,084,
Plus then the,
plus the difference between the 534 and the 777. At least that's my understanding.
So if we take the
Right, yes,
165,084, we subtract out the 534 from Hanover,
Now seven.
we add in the 777, that's 165,327.
165,
327.
327. Thank you. Do we have a motion to recommend to council?
I will so motion for the 165, 327.
I will second.
I have a motion from Cool, second by Ware, to recommend to council approval of the renewal of the insurance with League of Municipalities in the amount of $165,327,000. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was worth driving in the snow, I suppose. No, it
Always
wasn't.
is. Always is. Nice to get down there.
Resolution 2024-47, AFG grant for the fire department. Who wants to take that?
So unfortunately, it's been a busy year, unfortunately, so when I did finally see the grant, and what we possibly could actually go for. It was very short notice, and I did apologize for not reaching out faster. But our turnout boots are well over the age, and they're breaking down, and our wildland gear is from 2007. So that was one of the bigger pushes is gear from the AFG. It's a 95, they cover and 5% that we cover. We're looking at 33 pairs of boots and 33 sets of wildland extrication gear. As of right now, it's about 50,000. So I think it's roughly about, I'm still trying to get the numbers. Waiting for the last quote so I can get everything figured out with the grant, but it should be no more than 3,000 that we have to pay for, so.
And does this grant expire at the end of the year? Because we started talking about this in February with
So,
these exact stuff.
The thing with the FEMA grants,
Okay,
they're usually very short-lived. It only happens once a year.
okay.
Like this one, they opened it up, I think it was December 2nd.
So you were planning this though in February?
We were discussing it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I'm just curious.
So the one I think we were talking about in February was the SAFER grant.
This one says AFG grant is open and we had a grant discussion. We're looking at going for the gear and the wildlife extraction.
Okay, maybe that one was.
And that was at 90%, but that was in February. So that's why I was curious, do they do multiple grants?
No, they only do one,
Okay,
an actual year,
Okay.
but there is sometimes where it will overlap.
okay,
But, so, like the SAFER grant, we got our denial letter, that was for the full timer,
yeah.
which will be coming up in January, February. They have a fire prevention and safety grant, that I believe is supposed to be opening up in January, which, I just gotta look through and see what options there is, if anything we need. But the one that we're going for is strictly for fire protection gear, so.
The one in January you're talking
The
about?
one we're currently going for
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
So I need approval tonight because tomorrow is the deadline. I have to submit it tomorrow.
What does AFG stand for?
That's the, I hate acronyms.
I hate acronyms too.
Yeah. It's through FEMA, I believe, I honestly can't remember.
Assistance to fire grant, or?
It's some fire grant. Oh, yeah, assistance fire
Assistance
grant.
to firefighters grants.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know the other one's really good, but not that one. I just call it the AFG grant.
Assistance to firefighters grants.
So this grant does gear, it does schooling, it does vehicles. It is a big, very, very large grant, and it's very competitive.
Do you need help doing these grants? We sat into a conference with the league here this couple months ago here.
So a
Lana
lot
got
of
really
it is
excited about
just,
grants.
so
Believe it or
Gary does very good at the narratives.
not. Pardon me?
Gary?
What, Whitebird?
Yes.
Yeah,
He does very good at the narratives.
okay.
So we got him for that. And the other stuff, Lana would, helped us out greatly when it came to the budget part, because I have no idea. I
That's
just
what she's here for.
I just gotta plug in the numbers. Otherwise, a lot of it is just what we've done for the last 3 years.
Okay.
So it's just us pulling our numbers and plugging them in.
Well, that's one of the things we want to get better at, is now that she's been here a little bit longer, has a better understanding of kind of how things work, and sitting through some of these grant conversations, knowing we're not good at that here. We don't have anybody on staff, and we're just not super good at it, so we're just trying to get better at it, and if we can help, definitely want to help.
Yeah, we do trainings,
Okay.
throughout the years and doing it, so.
Good.
And it's all focused towards, what we do, so. Because we have the DNR grant, there's multiple grants.
Right. somehow we need to get a good schedule of all these grants and when things are, because like I said, we talked about this in February, so this wasn't a
Yep.
surprise that you did it. It's just that you talked about it in February, we didn't do it in December. Didn't know when things open, when they close, you know, how many times a year they are.
It's a good question, because we don't know when they open.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we will work on that and help each
Usually
other
with-
out.
And I'll
with
try to
grants,
work on
those
that
type of
too.
Things, they open them whenever they decide they wanna run it.
Okay,
Like the safer grant's usually in the spring sometime.
okay,
The AFG grant, which is the one I'm doing now, is usually fall, late fall.
okay.
Firehouse, I think they run there sometime in the summer. We could write for DNR grants, I think once a year.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, we'll work on that with you. When I say we, I'm talking her.
And I'm gonna do more searching on
Right,
that, because
right.
there's a lot of things that will come up, and I think we fail a little bit with that, so,
Yeah.
not, just in general, looking for grants, not anything to do with departments, so I
Right.
think between all of us, we can kind of get a game plan for that.
Because I think we're missing out on a lot of stuff too. I mean, some stuff, I
Potentially.
don't, yeah, that's some stuff we probably will never get, but,
Yeah, because I just found out about the, what is it, the United Cooperative? They have grants out for local fire departments too, so.
okay,
Very good.
we'll go after the money. All for it.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the grant, resolution for grant of 2024-47.
Full second?
I have a motion from Wirt and a second by Cool to recommend, Resolution 2024-47, applying for the AFG grant. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion regarding delinquent utility bills.
Yeah, this year, what came up, is in the delinquent bills, the mobile home, so I'm glad Barry's here today, to talk about that. Now, with normal properties, you can put under tax roll, when taxes are paid, the delinquent. Mobile homes are treated differently, so when I saw in there that not supposed to do it on the land, but the lots are on a parcel, I struggled with it a little bit, so I spoke with the Department of Revenue. They have a different thought process than the statute, but bottom line is the attorneys said that we cannot put a lien on the mobile home parks lot. So what has to happen, which we already kind of knew, but I struggled with that. So in talking to the attorneys, you know, he said that we have to put liens on the mobile homes because the utility has meters right to each mobile home. So we cannot put it on a tax roll, there's nothing to put on, we have to put it on the actual mobile home for it. So in the meantime, I asked Jean, said, well, do we have like a procedure ordinance on it? And pulled that up. The one thing that we need to do is have a different ordinance for the mobile homes because it has to be treated differently. The other thing, probably need to revamp this now, is the utility sending out, because here it says on October 1st, the utility will provide us with the delinquent bills. At that point, 15th we're supposed to send notice. Are you doing that, telling them that they are going to, it's gonna go on their tax bills?
Yes, in the previous, Mo used to do it.
And do okay,
And they would the city would take care of it. And then he felt he should keep the penalty then, the 10% penalty.
and that's what it
So-
That
says.
sounds.
But that's what it
So
says
what
in here.
happened is somehow the utility got it, the utility sends all the notices and takes care of all that end of it and keeps the 10% penalty, which is where it's supposed to go as the utility since it's a rate.
Okay,
We're just collecting it, so that's just the history of it.
okay.
We just never updated this.
So that's the one thing that we obviously have to update. The other thing is that the cost to do that. So what would happen is with putting a lien on the mobile home, we have the ability to foreclose on it or repossess like a mechanic's lien type thing. But obviously we wouldn't want to be owners of mobile homes. Collections is very expensive, so the only way that we would recover those costs are if it sells in the title, just like sale of house. And that's pretty much unless we wanna go through garnishment, that type of thing. One of the utility bills on here, for one of them, talking to the owner, Parker that is, that's being condemned. So if we have a lien, we don't have a lien right now, because we haven't done it. If we do, either we're responsible for it or we have to release the lien. So, putting that on there. So, bottom line is I have this list. Are we supposed to, that's where the clarification, are we supposed to be doing the liens? How is this collection supposed to be being done? Because right now, we're not following this ordinance. We have to write one per the attorney for mobile homes. And then when it comes to the tax time, when we write you a check, when we collect on the property taxes, obviously, if we haven't collected on the mobile homes, I would assume we're not paying you for that at that point, correct? You, on the real estate, when they pay the property taxes, we would pay you because it's part of the assessment.
Correct.
This part, so this is where the confusion comes into play. How are we doing all of this? It's the penalty, if you're keeping it, you know.
Is a lien considered a special assessment?
No, what it is just basically like a car lien, and if they don't pay for it, we can take the mobile home back, or we get paid when it sells.
Right. What happens with Parker is he doesn't let us even know when people come and go.
Well, that's,
So the
I've
bill
had
keeps going?
communications with him.
Because he's not, he's saying that it can't go to the lot.
Mhm.
Our meter is assessed basically to the lot. That's where the argument comes into play, because our meter is to that lot or that house. He wants to consider them houses until he has a past due bill. When it's a past due bill, then he doesn't want it as a house, he wants it as the meter assessed to the mobile home.
But the meter is
But
to
then-
the home, right?
The
Because that's
meter's
what,
on the lot, and then his service goes to the home. So, our meter doesn't care what home is there.
Correct.
right,
And that's where the argument comes in, and I guess I would feel more comfortable if this all went through the utility board. Because asking me up here how the billing goes,
Yeah.
that's.
right, but I just wanna make sure when it comes down to, this gets sent to us, and then I
And
don't
that's what
know.
that's what should be cleared up at the
Right.
utility.
And so, and that's fine, that's why we're just having a discussion, that's all,
Yep.
on that part, because I don't, you know, at this point, we're having attorney bills and expenses to try to
Correct.
collect them,
Correct.
and that's fine, that's the way it is, but we're not a collection agency, or do we wanna own a mobile home, so we
Well,
have to
that's-
figure it out.
That's why we take the stance,
Yeah.
and I've had to figure this out with, this has been discussed several times,
Yeah,
and who interprets it, but that should definitely go through the attorney with the utility to figure out for you guys how we're gonna proceed forward with it.
right, and I've had discussions
And they
with
can write
them, yeah, and they can write
With
the
who?
ordinance with Axley. I've already today
Attorney.
talked to
Yeah.
him,
I
our
understand
attorney.
that, But that doesn't help us down there.
No, but this is why we're talking about it, it's
Yeah.
just having
She'll
that
pass it to
discussion.
you. Yeah.
Hmm?
I said, you'll pass it to him.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% with that part. It's just a matter of the DOR, Department of Revenue, views it differently than what the state statute is. But the attorney said we have to comply with what the state statute is. So maybe we can figure out a time that we can be on call together or something with them and figure out what the best way to do this is, so we can make sure the ordinance is right. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, but I have to back up though and figure out what exactly we are now doing.
Sure.
Okay,
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
pay for you guys to dig into this when we don't have a stance for the utility yet.
well, the only reason I dug in it is because we got the thing for the real estate,
Yep.
what the delinquent things is, so that's the reason
Yep.
I'm doing the research that I need to do.
No, I understand, I
Okay,
understand where you're trying to get to.
okay,
I think it'd be simpler if we could back up to the utility level and say, this is the utility stance, how we wanna handle this, do we wanna?
okay,
try to fight
and
to
I'm
get
fine
there?
with that.
And then you won't have to deal with it, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying, so I think maybe.
I just struggle with the fact that we can't put a lien on those lots, and
Exactly.
That's why I dug into it, because I'm struggling with that and the misinformation. So it's got nothing to do, I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page.
And that's why our stance has always been, no, it's to the lot, and we don't care what you have on there.
Right.
And that's,
And he
because-
owns the
because right now
lot.
you have, you
I know,
basically,
that's what's
you're
confusing.
treating them separate than a homeowner.
Correct.
It's personal property, yeah.
Right, so.
Now, if he owns any of those mobile homes, per
Different
the
story.
attorney, I can keep it on his tax roll.
Correct.
But I'm doing a search right now and I have not found any. I'm searching all of them to see who owns them, but,
Yep,
Okay.
that's always been the argument of, they can just go and, he can just go and sell the house, the mobile home, and then it's gone. And well, if I have an assessment against it, how do you get that back? Or if it's
Mhm.
trashed, or if it's.
well, if we get a lien on it, then they sell it, we'll get whatever proceeds we
But a lot of
can,
them are
but
not selling, they're just scrap
I,
type hooks.
well,
and
that's the
grabs
one
it
with
in and out.
$900 is being
Right.
condemned, yes.
And then the rest of the ratepayers have to pay that then,
100%,
And
yeah.
that's-
So
that's
we just
what
need to
we're trying
figure it
to
out,
avoid.
so.
you know, so,
That's fine. But that's the only reason for the discussion, because this has been
yep.
a struggle for me with how we have to handle this, so.
Understandable.
So if we can get together, we're a team, so let's figure it out and,
I'll put it on our agenda.
okay, perfect, thank you.
Employee evaluation forms, Richard.
The old one is in the packet, the new one is separate.
Well, I was wondering why I had two. I threw the one that was in the packet out and kept that one.
This is the one that
Good.
Richard
This is
did.
the one that
so-
Richard
Then
keeps.
I
So,
kept the right one.
yes.
I don't need two.
I didn't like the old form, so I requested a clean copy from Jean.
Yep.
And I just made a couple little modifications, because it seemed confusing
Yep.
as to how
I
you were
agree.
supposed to
Didn't like
fill this out.
I agree with
So
that.
this is just my stab at an alteration to the form. We can obviously talk about it and make any changes to it, or try it as is this year. I think it's simplified and cleaner.
Yeah, I struggled with it because it was confusing.
Yeah, I just really
So the
just.
dotted one is new. I did not pay attention to the other one. To me, it looked the same. I didn't really look at
It
the
is
whole
very
thing.
similar.
It's like, he
I
just
didn't
made
change
a
a
few,
lot,
he
but
made a few adjustments, he took off like
Oh, that stuff.
that.
I'm okay with it. Changes.
Mhm. Let's give it a whirl and see if we
Yep.
like it.
Yep.
It's easy to tweak.
Works for me.
yeah, that's all I really had, and we'll just, at the end of this year, take a evaluation of it and
Yep.
see how it worked for our purposes.
Good.
I don't think we need a motion or anything on that.
No, we just,
FYI,
any further discussion on it?
Didn't we have something about goals?
That's been removed.
That's been removed. We don't want to have a discussion on that, like
And we can discuss it with them.
with them? Got it.
right, rather than putting something down, or
Yeah,
it just seemed,
because you've
I've
got
done
taking
these
your
ones, but it's
achievement of goals.
Yeah, so
Awkward.
that's kind of the same, I mean, with their, how you can aid with their.
So as we're
goals.
having a conversation, if they have goals, we talk about, because we have achievement of goals, but like, what did they want the prior year?
and that could also be directed by us.
Okay, not a problem.
We'll give it a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I just come to like it. Very good. No further discussion, then we will go right into the fire department policy and procedures. Reading through your policies and procedures, there are some changes that I see, and I know that there's probably some changes others would like to also see. Where I had particular exception is where it talked to full-time, about full-time employees, as far as benefits. That is a negotiated item now, because we have a union, and cannot be part of the policy and procedures. At least that's my opinion.
What
I'm
page
sure.
are you on for that one?
I am not on any specific page.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just talking about
Just in general, got
in
it,
general,
got it,
because there are
Right.
several areas throughout the policies and procedures
right.
where it talks about uniform allowances and pay for training, et cetera, and that all be all, as far as I understand, will be negotiated. That can't be something that is in
Right,
any policy procedure. We're not gonna change anything that is existing now as to how it has been dealt with in the past. But we can't go with setting that as a policy or a procedure for future.
We can take all the full-time information.
You understand what I'm saying
Yep.
on that?
Because we follow the city handbook anyways for that.
yeah, because there's a lot of stuff in here that.
And that's gonna have to change on the city
handbook.
handbook too,
Yeah.
because those will be, some of those items will be specifically spelled out
Correct.
in your contract, so.
All right. Yeah, I can take that out.
uh,
I don't know how much you need to take out at this point until we actually start the contract.
Well,
You know,
I can
because
have it.
there's gonna be changes throughout. I mean, I've made a lot of comments too, and it's like, oh, do we just wait?
Or do we want to have another, with the committee and the officers?
You're probably gonna need to.
I think that, for me to just, again, I'm just fixing it
Sure,
back and
right,
forth, so.
right.
I think if we have a discussion, I think it'd be better sought out that way.
But can we do that around the union contract? How much can we get accomplished without going through that?
I think we can talk about policies and procedures without a union contract,
Okay.
because there is still management rights. And policies and procedures, for a large extent, deal with management rights. It's how the department is run. It doesn't deal with specific benefits.
Okay,
So those parts, I think, we can discuss.
okay, well, I got lots of things.
I've got notes as well.
So does Richard.
Who would like to start?
We don't have time to start.
No, not now.
No.
I guess we're gonna have to reschedule. We only got 10 minutes.
Well,
And there's,
I'd be happy to send my edits over for you guys to consider. It's not what's gonna happen, but there's some minor things, there's some significant things. Changing the wording, reporting, consistency in words. The one that comes to mind is evaluation. You've got review and evaluation.
An appraisal.
And appraisals and assessments.
Some of it's just
It's just cleaning up some of those
Right.
little details.
I know.
formatting and stuff.
I tried that the last time.
I know.
I thought I got it.
When you're working on the document, it's very hard to
Right.
catch all of those. So some fresh eyes
Yes.
can find those things a lot quicker than you will, because I'm reading through it and you know it.
Yeah, you
So-
guys, yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you guys wanna,
I'd like us to have a conversation again, so that we're not all piecemealing something to them, that we
Yeah.
collectively come up with one document.
Yep, and I didn't even go through all of it.
Yeah.
I stopped at like page 30.
Yeah.
And just got a cross-eyed.
Yeah,
you
I
guys
would,
just wanna let
when
us
would you
know when
like
you
to
guys
do
are ready.
that?
There's some things too, and like
You wanna have a special meeting?
workman's comp claim form, there's one included here. I'm sure the city has one that's
Right.
provided.
I made those
Yeah.
notes as well, yeah.
Those will probably be either referenced for a different time and not even included in this policy, because that's a reporting issue change.
Well, January isn't as crazy, so why don't we have a meeting in January and then schedule something at one of their next meetings, because that's never on a council night anyway.
January is usually reviews again, but we can alter that, that's for sure.
We can chip away at it.
Mhm.
You let me know how you wanna proceed. You want a special meeting? I think it's gonna take a special meeting, don't you?
For us?
Yeah.
Or a collective meeting, earlier meeting. You know, start at 5:30. Have a little time, go
Sure.
to closed session and just hammer it out.
Yeah, as long as we all got our notes and we're ready to roll, it should go quick.
Now, are you talking about collective or just the finance?
Finance,
Yeah.
we don't need to bother everybody.
Right.
We need to get our
We
thoughts
gotta
and
get it
edits.
close, but then it's probably gonna sit for a few months until other issues are resolved.
Well, unless there's just little things that we know are gonna be
Right.
changed,
Yeah.
Right.
and they can continue to work on that
Yep.
Yep.
through our edits of it.
Mhm.
And then they can just bring their end closer to what our suggestions are, or requests are, outside of the union negotiations. and
Okay, so
all
you
those
want to
other
do a
items.
5:30 meeting on our normal meeting night? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep, that's fine. Then you can just start that early.
First and third, January 16th.
Charlie's already saying, I don't know if I can make that day.
We'll get back to you.
Tentative.
Tentatively.
Tentatively.
Calendars are fun. He
Yeah.
likes snow, so he wants to play in the snow.
You might be going up there.
We can put you on Zoom.
Yes, we can Zoom with you. We have the technology.
It's hard if he's on a snowmobile.
True.
That can be his break.
Stay tuned.
Okay, yes,
If you go into PDF and make an edit or a suggestion, it shows up with your name on it. So you might not necessarily have to be here to discuss your suggested edits. We can review that and go through that. I mean, we're not finishing it, so
Right.
if you've got a question, you can just type it right in there and you can follow the edits. It's pretty easy.
If you have Acrobat,
Yeah, I had
No,
fun with it today.
everybody has Acrobat.
DC Reader,
You can.
should I use?
I had to
don't
highlight
have
an
that.
entire paragraph, and now I wanted to highlight a word.
So I don't have anything.
That seems like an operator problem. though.
Could be an operator problem. Very well could be.
okay, so right now we will consider the
I own that.
5:30 on our next meeting night. I have nothing for future agenda items or
Other than that,
announcements.
very good. Very good.
Oh, Ellers is,
Others will be here.
be
for
the
next meeting.
16th.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, you and I still gotta finish that.
Yes.
Monday. Monday.
Oops, sorry, Charlie.
What? That's also on the 16th?
Yep, that'd be the same night he's gone.
I think we got to your calendar before you got to your calendar, didn't we? Don't we, Winnie? I don't think he likes that.
Yeah.
I'm Charlie, I'll be your personal assistant, I'll just mark my calendar.
Y'all don't have to hide in the hall.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. Have a motion from Cool, seconded by Thomas to adjourn all those. in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
Charlie's gonna throw something at me.
for which it stands,
Is it on? Yes, okay. Roll call.
Austin Cool here.
Charles.
Thomas here.
Here, here.
We are, oh, I'm sorry, sir. He needs papers. Meeting minutes approval of December 5th. Are there any additions or corrections?
Cummings will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 5th, 2024.
Austin Cool, second.
Motion by Cummings, second by Austin Cool to approve the meeting minutes of December 5th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen input, seeing none. Reports and presentations. Lana will be giving us a presentation on our 2025.
I wish he wouldn't have left.
Read it up. He was right on the top of the agenda.
Oh, Paul, get back here. Really, the biggest news is that, you can see the comparison, the premium comparison. Our overall coverage for liability, like cars, the vehicles, that type of thing, cyber, overall the net went down $430, which is obviously good. Property, a slight increase with that, but that was a lot due to, well, there's inflation, but it was a lot due that we really cleaned up our contractors' equipment list, went through that and did a lot with that.
Can you explain
So-
that real quick? What do you mean by contractors?
Well, like equipment that they have, like, the gators and backhoes or whatever.
Okay, so it's
those
our,
things.
when I hear
Yes.
the word contractor, I think
Oh, no, I'm
contractors
sorry,
that are
their
working on the.
equipment list.
Got it, okay.
Equipment list.
There we go.
So, sorry.
That's fine.
One of the adjustments we did make here in the part was crime. This was based on a 50,000 liability for that, and there was some discussion, and the finance committee opted for $220, I think it was, more to go to $1 million coverage for it. And that's, I think, wire fraud, those kind of things, correct? Is that what we had the long discussion with? So we felt for the roughly $20, it was worth increasing that coverage for that, and then we'll reevaluate next year on it. The biggest savings came with the workman's comp, and as I believe Paul explained it, is that we had a claim, they reevaluate the workman's comp claims, or the claims over a 3-year period. And over that time, we had a drop off, so that saved us a great deal of money for that. I think it was like overall 16,000, something along those lines. So our total premium for this year, my notes, 165,000,
237.
237.
327. 165, 327.
Compared to 180,978 last year. So, good news overall, even with the increase in the crime policy, we still went down, and that's kind of unheard of. So we're happy about that.
So there's no approval that needs to be on here?
I don't know.
Probably will be, the resolution should be formulated probably on next.
With all the info. Do we normally put this one on our resolution?
I didn't
It's
think
an
we did.
expenditure, you would imagine you would want to approve it, correct?
Yes.
I definitely want to approve it. I'm just curious
I
if we've
didn't know if
always
we
done
did
it
a
or not.
resolution.
I know this is one of them we always get late,
Yes.
you know.
Okay,
We'll, look at that. If we need a resolution, we'll put it on there.
okay.
Okay. Do you want a motion to get a resolution, or just
No, just, I
table it for a resolution?
don't know. I'm new at this spot, so I don't know.
Procedures.
I'm just filling in, you have to tell me.
You want to make a motion to approve the insurance pending a resolution?
And in the need for a resolution?
And then, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're fine, it's our prerogative to do that, I think.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion to approve the expenditure for the 2025 Insurance renewals with the League of Municipalities in the amount of $165,327.
Charlie Poole, second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Charles Cool to approve the expenditure pending a resolution coming to council for final approval. Yes? Then I'm just gonna do a roll call.
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes. Charles Cool, yes.
Griffin, yes. Thomas, yes.
Where, yes?
Hesley, yes.
Motion carried. Meeting summaries since last council meeting, cable was canceled, CDA was canceled, and finance was tonight.
Finance, everything is pretty much on the agenda. The only additional items we had is there was a discussion concerning delinquent utility bills, a new employee evaluation form, and fire department policies and procedures.
Got it, thank you. All right, consent agenda items are in your packet. If you have any questions of any of those, let us know.
Cummings will make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Austin Cool, second.
Motion by Cummings, second by Austin Cool to approve the consent agenda items. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, now, finance and insurance personnel. Tim?
Thomas, make a motion to approve the November 2024 financial statements, payroll in the amount of $88,532.78. General disbursements in the amount of $350,071.43. And the clerk treasurer's reports, which are on file in City Hall.
Cummings will second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Cummings to approve the November financials. Roll call?
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes. Charles Cool, yes.
Griffin, yes. Thomas, yes.
Where, yes?
Hesley, yes.
Motion carried. Ambulance repair quote, the 2005 ambulance. Tim?
I think this is an informational item. I don't know that this is the one that takes a motion. The fire department got, their ambulance was inspected and it needed certain repairs. The repairs have been pretty much completed in the amount of $3,000,
$365.27.
that amount.
Okay, so it was approved at finance.
It was approved to finance.
Was there a second quote?
No, this is, work has already been done. They're just informing us of this.
It was another inspection that was like, okay, and this is the backup ambulance, so kind of needed to keep it going. So,
There's a couple of items that still need to be completed, and that has to do with striping, actually.
is that to do with this ambulance?
Yeah,
So there's more,
we have to get a 1-inch stripe yet.
because that'll save a life, but okay.
You know, unfortunately,
Thanks, Dave.
DOT, you have to have
Oh, I
certain
know.
striping,
We had to change all
4
the
inches,
buses at McKay.
about so far off the ground,
I know.
and we're about an inch short.
I think there was somebody new at the DOT, because I had to do a whole bunch of stuff for McKay, all to do with striping.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
No, that's inspections for that stuff.
Anyway,
So I'll make a
I
motion to
digress.
approve the ambulance repair.
Cummings will second.
motion by Thomas, second by Cummings to approve the ambulance repair. Roll call.
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes. Charles Cool, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Where, yes?
Hesley, yes.
Motion carried. All right, resolution 2024-47, the AFG grant for the fire department.
I will give that to Wes.
The EFG grant actually has to be submitted by tomorrow. Currently writing it for the boots and wildlife turnout gear.
She came
The boots are pretty much at their max use and breaking down, and same thing with the turnout gear for the wildlife turnout gear.
So this is a pretty nice grant. And the AFG stands for Assistance to Firefighters Grants.
Thomas make a motion to approve resolution 2024-47, giving the fire department approval to apply for the AFG grant.
Griffin, second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Griffin to approve resolution 2024-47 AFG grant. Where's the money coming from? Is it just coming out of fund balance apparatus? Where's it coming from?
So if we get the grant,
Yep.
it'll probably just come out of equipment, because it's
Equipment.
only like $3,000.
Sure. I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
much, I figured you'd,
So it
Place
would
it
more than
where-
likely come out of the protective equipment, which is already there, so.
perfect. All right, roll call?
Cummings, yes.
Constable, yes. Constable, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Where, yes?
Hesley, yes.
Motion carried. All right, hiring, new business, hiring of a full-time police officer. I thought we were gonna have something in the packet, no? Like his name?
Unfortunately, the officer or candidate that we were gonna hire backed out, so we're back at the hiring process, so we don't need to discuss it tonight.
Bummer,
Sorry to hear that.
me too, he spoke Spanish too. Yeah, would've been nice.
That would be great.
All right, so that is then off the table for now. Okay, sorry to hear that, that's too bad. All right, future agenda items and announcements. Anybody got anything to say? Oh, no, I'll get to her because she came in after citizen input.
Oh.
But are there any agenda items or announcements?
Ellers will be here on the 16th
Ellers
of
is
January
What will be?
And he's doing
for the
presentation,
financial management.
but he'll be doing a presentation for council.
I will not be here. Maybe in Punta
You can Zoom from Mexico.
Cana. Okay,
There's internet everywhere. All right,
I'm not sure you would really.
not necessarily.
You won't want me to. No.
All right.
Celebrating my birthday.
Did you have anything you wanted to talk about, speak about, or you just missed us?
Yeah.
That's all right. I don't mind the company at
It's
all.
understandable.
All right, well, yeah, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, everybody, and all that good stuff.
Safe holidays.
Safe
Yeah,
holidays.
safe holidays.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Cummings will second.
Motion by Charlie Cool, second by Cummings to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Said nobody ever. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, I mean,
God, that sucks if that office was back up.